Clarke Cable, you join me on the shores of Boonsey Boons Bath, not far from the village where today's story took place. Now, for the people who witnessed this story, it was a night that they would never forget. But for the people who didn't witness the story, it was a night that they haven't heard yet. Now, you are one of those people, because you haven't heard it. And today, you will now hear it from them who have. And in that, you will listen to the story of Christmas Eve 2 years ago. Bam!
It's about time that some truth was told about this event a couple of years ago, because there's been a lot of falsehoods.
That's when the real Jack Talbert revealed himself to the village, to everyone.
Great village atmosphere, you know.
You can't do the choir without the choir master.
There's only so much pressure a man can take.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
You need to apologise to God
Before he snaps.
It was Christmas Eve, the biggest night of the year for this small village in rural Worcestershire, where the locals would gather together and sing carols on the village green. But this night was different.
Everyone looks forward to this every year. The kids look forward to it, old people love it. It's just great little thing.
I was obviously there early on Christmas Eve. I was setting up the veranda just for the choir to sing in.
Every year it is like a beehive there. It is an event on the calendar, and I was looking forward to it for sure.
Everyone was very happy to see each other. You could see it in their faces. The fairy lights all over the trees, the smell of mulled wine.
I moved down here because it's cracking night scene, and that's my thing, innit? The DJing, karaoke, stuff on the side, you know, that's how I used to make my money. I'm at the old Dog and Dick, which is the pub just down the road from there, because I thought, get in there, get my decks in. The footfall was going to be fascinating, because like him or not, he knew how to pull a crowd in. And it's too rich for my blood, all that choiring and stuff, but I know the singing from the karaoke. I know people like a sing-song, people like Christmas. I thought, here's a chance to make a few extra bob.
Yeah, well, we love the carols on the square because we get to sing our little hearts out, don't we, Dennis?
We do. We love singing, don't we?
We love singing, yeah.
What's that one that you love? Is it Ding Dong Merrily on High?
It is Ding Dong Merrily on High. I really like that one, you know I do.
I love that song too. We sang...
He's got a beautiful voice.
Everybody kind of like hangs out and you know, mixes their germs together in the village square, which is, I mean, it's poverty is so sick, you know, and these people, I'm not going to say they deserve more because they didn't work hard enough.
But the Christmas cheer began to chafe when the carol service was delayed.
People are getting a bit het up. I mean, a lot of people have a bug up their ass about anything these days, but people getting a bit het up that things were moving a bit late. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't that bothered.
It was 10 minutes, then it was 15, and it just went on, and I think we were pushing up towards an hour.
Because I'm simpatico with their schedule, so I'm thinking, it's fucking up my night.
It didn't bother me. I was soaking it up. You know, I may have had 60 family members there. Bunch of people from school. You know? I am absolutely in my element.
The choir look a bit agitated because, you know, they can't start for some reason. Then I realise that Jack's not there. He's nowhere to be seen, to be honest.
Choirmaster Jack Talbert had not arrived, and you can't have choirs without the choir man. But who was this elusive character?
Moving to a small community like this one, there's a certain amount of pressure that you have to fit in as an outsider. And Jack went above and beyond the amount of times he invited me to the pub for dinner or drinks or a cup of tea.
He's just like the rest of us. He walks around here like Walter Mitty, driving around in a rented Porsche, giving it the big I am. Yeah, he's a house, that's what he is.
I helped do his extension, which he still owes me money for, so that'll already give you a sense of the character of the man.
Me and Jack had an interesting relationship. I wouldn't say it was close. You know, not many people were close to Jack. You know, that's one of the pitfalls of being a genius.
Me and my mother had just moved to the village, and I came downstairs one morning, and he was sat at the kitchen table, and he'd talk about things like that I'd never heard before. You know, like about things like driving to Bourneville. So right then, I just knew, you know, I could tell he was a very sophisticated man.
Oh, bloody hell, where's this choir master? We want to bloody sing. But where was he? Well, he arrived drunk on a bike.
He cycles in, dicing all over the place, absolutely shit-faced.
We hear this ruckus coming down the high street. Jack comes round the corner, obviously swaying and stinking.
He turns up on a mountain bike. Now, I think if my memory serves me correctly, it was a Diamondback. Or was it a Trek?
I've heard people say he was on a bike, but he walked right past the dog's dick. He walked right past. He was humming, you know, scarf blowing, no care in the world, but pissed.
He looks like shit. If these people were ugly, he was just, oh my God.
He was off colour that night. But he's a professional.
Jack didn't look himself. He looked agitated.
He was off his head. He was absolutely steaming.
The carolers looked on in horror as the drunk Jack Talbert took the stage.
Maybe now he's going to focus and maybe he's going to be able to control it because he had been the choir master for years.
Showtime now, and Christmas can begin for everyone. Shoving the old days out of the way. It's like Scrooge. You know the Scrooge when Scrooge is walking through and everyone's diving out of the way? That's what he's like. He thinks he's loved. It's fair. It's fair.
Normally you start with Once in Royal David City, good song. Jack starts thinking it's some kind of rock concert and jumbles all the carols.
He started like skipping tracks, like a CD player.
Rubbish. Not doing that one.
Jack decided to put a couple of favourites in last minute, and what the hell, you know, we were singing along, no problem.
He starts getting angry. He starts getting visibly angry.
The crowd just starts to get, you know, cantankerous.
We're gonna just go to the next song, like in the middle of a song.
Once in Royal David City, which is the main song that you open with normally.
And as the timid boy soprano William Onions came forward to do his solo, a mad dog Jack Talbert barked dog words right in the child's face.
That was it. He said,
"Go get us a little mulled wine."
You little shit. Go get me a Kim mulled wine.
Go and get me a glass of mulled wine.
Out of order, yes, but you know, I've heard worse on stage.
Jack asked for a mulled wine, and I thought it was in the spirit of the evening, but I'm pretty much sure everyone else in that gathering had mulled wine.
William runs off and he comes back with the mulled wine, and he necks it in one and he crushes the cup and just throws it out into the crowd.
And the kid, he goes off, he's crying his eyes out.
It was a little uncomfortable. You have to look at it from the other perspective. The boy had plenty of opportunities earlier in the evening to showcase a wonderful voice.
Then Jack Talbert, drunk on mulled wine and Chinese courage, launches into the song himself.
They join him at the start, but they can't keep up. You know, there's levels in this game.
Loud, just shouty, horrible.
Booming bass voice.
As soon as he was going to sing the highest note of the song,
And he goes right up there, right at the peak. Fucking fart explodes. Shit himself.
we heard a fart.
He's farted through his trousers. Almost.
The guy obviously shit himself. You heard the fart that preceded it.
I think that he shits himself. I'm sure the people say he just farted.
He took that responsibility away from that boy with his ass. And we were disgusted by that.
Repulsed.
We'd all just had enough. And everybody was just hurling abuse at him.
People are going mad. The kids are bibbing, crying. Wiping the tears on the tinsel.
Shouting, screaming, everyone. There's a fist fight that breaks out, basically. Disgusting, the farmers.
The mulled wine went over, the whole barrel.
Blood.
Mrs. Spires fainted.
She smacked down on the ground. Nobody checked on her because of chaos.
I remember just one little girl crying her eyes out, and I said, whose is this kid? And no one answered.
In the midst of the chaos, Jack Talbert got back on his bike, but as he rode off, he crashed straight into the village Christmas tree.
The tree smashes down. It was cacophonous. It was so loud.
It missed some children by like that much. And that was that.
I haven't seen Jack since. No one has, as far as I'm aware.
Jack Talbert, I tell you. And they've never had a tree up since.
It's good, I'd say. First time in 15 years I cried.
Horrifying.
I don't know.
The real victim of that evening, the real show-stopping, the headline, if you will, was not the story of a man breaking wind in a church, but a story of a man who was pushed by a unsympathetic community and said, "Goddamn no, you're not having it anymore."
When you've done a fight, you feel like you've achieved something, you know? And I think he achieved something that night.
This is going to be a bombshell interview. Well, you know, because I know something you don't. He meant it. He meant every last moment of that performance.
Jack had talked about it. He certainly was feeling the pressure from certain members of the community.
It must have been bloody 11 o'clock at night. Raining really hard outside. And I just heard a...
It's very, very easy to find yourself a scapegoat.
Knock on the window, open the door, Jack, floods of tears. And he just said, "I've got to get out."
There's only so much pressure a man can take.
The expectations of the town, the expectations of every person's Christmas, year in, year out, and he couldn't do it anymore.
That guy had the toughest job in the world.
And he told me that he devised a plan that would give this village its reason to be on a map and would give him a reason to leave.
Hello? Is that fucking Clarke Cable? Right, you listen to me, you f***. You don't know all. Because Talbot, I saw it all that night. After that tree went down, it was all for show, mate. He hadn't had a drop of drink. He slung the bike in the back of his Porsche. And then he walks over to the driver's side, opens the door, and that's when he sees me. And he just stared me right in the eye. Winked. And said, "Merry Christmas."
They say that Christmas is a time for forgiving. Well, let's hope that possibly that the people in that village can forgive Jack Talbot and that they will be able to sing carols again without the memory of a man who farted too loud and who got too drunk. Christmas should be a time where we remember all of the things that we have to remember about Christmas. And then in those times, we should say, "Who do you mean when you say Christmas?" I don't know, but I do know it's Christmas.